Yo guys, Blues Not here and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am currently at a car park, just at a restaurant. I just literally watched the replay of the Chelsea versus Burnley match, and it turns out we actually lost 3-2 to Burnley. Now, as much as the media says that this was an absolute shocker that Burnley was able to go on the road at Stamford Bridge and beat Chelsea 3-2, it was not a surprise at all. I mean, if you actually watch the game and if you actually watch what happened, it was more of a kind of expected result than actually it is. And I know I said in my preview, I said that, you know, I was hoping that in this game we would probably get some of our best players back, like Pedro, Hazard, and Bakayoko coming back into the lineup. Yeah, that didn't happen, okay? I mean, when I first looked at the lineup before watching the game, I knew that we were going to be a little bit doomed here because we have guys that usually have never been playing in the starting lineup. I mean, we have Batshuayi, we have this Jeremy Bogarde guy that I don't think I have ever made an appearance for Chelsea. And also we had the Fabregas and Conte combination in the midfield, which, if you guys remember, back in that FA Cup Community Shield game, it did not work well at all. And in this game, it was not surprised that it did not work well either. And, you know, we just missing so many guys from injuries and stuff like that. And because of the fact that how during this coming into this new season, everybody have talked about how Chelsea in terms of their depth and how it is just so bad right now, and how coming into this new Premier League season we were so unprepared for this. And it just turns out that in this game it was just fully exposed in a pretty big way. And this is why I always keep asking, and I think now I'm started getting a little bit more desperate than I was before, but I really just right now I'm just praying to the Chelsea board and ask them, please sign a player. Like, honestly, we are just, like, if you look at the squad that we have right now, it is just absolutely horrendous. We have no depth in our squad at all. Most of the guys that we're playing are part of like the youth team that wasn't even that good, and we basically just sold everybody on loan. Like, why in the world do we always tends to do that? I mean, that is just, honestly, I don't know what the heck is the board has on us right now. And I really don't blame Conte for saying that he can potentially leave Chelsea, because, you know, if I was him, I would have left a long time ago. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous what the board is doing with this team. I feel like this board is just completely killing our team, and I just feel like this season could potentially be a repeat of what happened in the 2015 and 16 season. Now, I'm not going to just say that it's going to be a complete repeat, because let's face it, it's only been one game. This is only the first game of the season, and we can't really judge by saying that we lost the Premier League in the first game of the season. It's very easy to overreact, but the fact is, if I look on the future and how if we don't do anything from now to the end of August, then we are fucked. Like, we are honestly fucked for this year, and I'm just really worried that this team not only will be being in the mid-table range, but they could potentially maybe get into the relegation zone like what happened last time. And I really don't want to see how Conte could potentially be on the chopping block, because he has nothing to do with this, okay? This is completely 100% not Conte's fault. This is completely just the boards doing this. And I just think whoever is our scouting and whoever is the people that of course want to make our transfer and stuff like that, they need to get sacked from this board. Like, they need to go. They have to go if they don't make any move during this summer deadline until August. And yeah, that's literally what I have to say about the situation with Chelsea right now. But as for the game itself, I mean, honestly, just, you know, it was a very bad game, but in many ways, I don't think I usually never say this about when I watch a football game, but I felt like the ref completely ruins the game. And this is the second week in a row the ref has called a very questionable red card. And I think this week, that red card on Cahill, it was not a red card at all. Hell, I think the player that, of course, drew the foul, he completely dived. If you look on the replay, when Cahill lunges it in, it didn't really seem like the player actually took any contact from Cahill once he was lunging in with his right knee. I mean, it felt like it was more of simulation or something like that, and yet the referee just right away pull out his red card, and you know, I just feel like, why in the world does this always happen to us? And you know, I don't care what anybody said, okay? I know some people blame that KO should never have done that, and I know some people say that was clearly a red and stuff like that. Well, if you watch the replay, right? If you watch the replay, unless you're just a complete troll of a football fan, no way in the world that was a red card, okay? And this is not me being a biased Chelsea fan, but if you look at it, there is just absolutely no way. 99% of the time, any other ref would not give a red card except for the ref in that game that gave the red card. And at that point, that just completely changed the game. I mean, 13 minutes in, we were playing very well in the early stage of the game, and that red card just completely shattered our kind of mentality. And just after that, the team just completely gone into a shell shock, similar to what happened when who got sent off in the community shield? I forgot who got sent off in the Pedro. Yeah, Pedro got sent off in the community shield, and how instantly the team just gone into a complete shell shock, and it just happened again in this game. And I don't blame the team just completely gone in a shell shock this time, because that was clearly not a red card. And I don't care what you say about it, it was just not a red card at all. And eventually, of course, Burnley just completely exposed our defense, and we pretty much just have only like 2 center back at that point. And you know, at that point, we were just kind of like making things up and stuff like that. And at halftime, we were down 3-0, and then in the second half, we decided to bring on Morata there. Now, if there is one thing I will blame Antonio Conte about this match, is that why in the world did he not start Morata in this game? Like, I understand what happened in the preseason and how Morata was kind of like struggling and stuff like that, but seriously, why did you not start Morata in this game? You know, I thought he was clearly ready for this. I even said in the preview that I think you should definitely start him, just to see that he has a lot to prove. And I'll tell you what, in this game, he has completely proved me and everybody else wrong about how he is another Fernando Torres. And, well, actually, he didn't prove me wrong. I was hoping that he was actually going to do very well. And he did. He did very fantastic. Ever since he came on, he basically completely boosted the team. He was responsible with the 2 goals that we scored. And he even scored his debut goal in that game. I think it was off of a header, I believe. I don't actually remember, because I watched the game about like 2.5 hours ago, and since I'm kind of like on vacation, I don't really want to like think about football. I want to just enjoy myself. But still, I want to do this match review for you guys. And I think he did score off a header, and then he also assisted right at the end. And by the way, we actually went down to 9 men with Cesc Fabregas, which, you know, that red card, I might say that might be a red card. Well, actually, it wasn't a red card. It was a second yellow. I think that was kind of justified that was a second yellow. But you know, at that point, it didn't really matter anyway. You know, the game was just, it looked like it was just completely dead. Eventually, we did get our second goal, which gave us just a little bit slight chance to trying to get that 3rd goal. But of course, it never happened, because we scored that second goal like in the 88th minute, and we only had like 4 minutes or 5 minutes till the end of the game to score another goal, and we were like 9 versus 11 at that point. I mean, it was always going to be tough to get the equalizer. I mean, one thing I will say that I'm happy with this team is that at least we fought back, okay, in the second half. Not a lot of teams in the Premier League can go down to 10 men, down 3-0 in the first half, and then score 2 goals to at least make it interesting. Heck, the second goal we scored with just 9 men on the field. Not a lot of teams in the Premier League and in the world can score a goal when they're down to 9 men. So, obviously, I'm happy that the team showed determination. They almost came back for this. And for me, I'm actually not that concerned just yet. What I'm really concerned right now is that I'm very worried that we're not going to sign anybody else. And if we do sign somebody else, you know, we're probably going to sign some player that nobody wants to see us signing, like a Danny Drinkwater kind of guy. I just hope that we potentially might sign a potential midfield that, you know, can replace Matic. By the way, I have no idea why in the world we decided to sell Matic, and I feel like now that Matic trade that we had is started to really haunt us back now. And you know, I mean, honestly, I feel like if Matic was still here in this game, I think maybe the outcome would have been different, because I think Conte and Matic last season when they played together, they looked so much better than Conte and Fabregas in the holding midfield. So I think if Matic was in there, I don't think this game would have been just this ugly. But still, I mean, honestly, I'm just really concerned the fact that even if we're going to sign some player, it's not the player that we really wanted, and this could potentially be a slumping kind of year for us. But for now, I'm just going to trust the fact that, you know, we're going to sign some player, we're going to sign some pretty decent player, and hopefully this is just one game. This is just the fact that we're just completely unprepared to begin the new season. And look, you know, I know there's an old saying that you can't win the Premier League just in one game, but you can lose it. I just hope that maybe by the end of the season, we don't look back this game as the one game where we should have probably won the Premier League. And I just also think that the fact that maybe this is not the end of potentially us losing, because, you know, like I said, back in my, I don't know if I said it in the preview, but this was kind of like one of our easiest game in the next coming games. I mean, we have Leicester City, we got Tottenham, we got Arsenal coming up in our schedule. You know, this is a really brutal kind of start to the season, and the fact that we are just completely unprepared coming into this new season, and that we have this brutal stretch, you know, I'm just really concerned the fact that this team can go off to a very slow start, like what happened in 2015 and 16. And by the time when we do get our players to get up to strength and start playing well, it might be too late to maybe even challenge for the top 4 spot. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'm a little bit nervous coming into the next game against the Spurs, because, you know, they are the Spurs, and I know Spurs are playing at Wembley, and I know what I said about that. But still, with the squad that we have, and the fact that we can't even beat Burnley at home, you know, it is a very concerning thing. And I hope in the next game, you know, I'm just praying the next game will definitely be a little bit better. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this match review. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, click the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.